Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new to me and my channel, then you might not know that we are a homeschool family. We have two children that we are homeschooling right now. Right now we are 3rd grade and 8th grade, and this is our 3rd year consecutively homeschooling. 5 years total, but 3rd year consecutive. If you watch some of my videos in the past, you know what I mean by that. But anyway, we've been doing this a couple years, and today I'm going to tell you 5 things that we have done over these last 3 consecutive years since we've been doing this back-to-back. 5 things that we have done to simplify our homeschool. Now, our situation is not going to be the same for everybody, but even if you are not in our exact situation as far as working schedule and home schedule and all that, some of these ideas can help you too. I work away from home. My husband stays home, so we are homeschool mom and homeschool dad. He does the day-to-day work with them. Any kind of questions that my 3rd grader has, he's here to answer that. My 8th grader is pretty independent, but if she has anything that needs to be like a teacher check that he could do, he does that. And he stays on top of them to make sure that they are getting done what I have set out for them to do. I do all the planning. Most of the curriculum picking, I do let my husband have some say in that, because he sees day-to-day what they're getting aggravated with and what just isn't working. But for the most part, I'm the planner and do all that stuff. So I do ask his opinion. I was even asking him before I did this video, what is some of the things that you think we've done differently, in this year than what we did when we first started back in 2020. And he's, gave me some ideas. So my first one that I'm going to tell you that I did this year and I will continue doing is a student planner. Both of my girls use their student planner. It's just, I should have brought one in here to show you. It's just a planner that I bought off Amazon. I'll put a link in the description. It is laid out week by week and month by month, so I can write in their month anything homeschool related that they need to know about. And then on the weekly, where it's more detailed day-to-day stuff, I write out there, or my 8th grader will do hers by herself most of the time, with some guidance from me of letting her know what she needs to be working on and how many pages and lessons and all that she needs to do. But it's laid out for the week in that planner. They keep that planner with them, and the way that this is more simplified than what I was doing before. Before, I was giving them cardstock cards that I was cutting. Like I would do an 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it in half, and they would each have this slip of paper that was laid out for the week. So it would have all their subjects, all the days of the week, and then all their subjects, and they would just go through each box each day and mark it off. I didn't want to have to keep up with those individual slips. So this is kind of that, but even easier because I can keep up with it. The whole school year when they're done is going to be in that planner, and I can stick that planner with the work that I'm going to be saving, our attendance records and all that. If I need to go back and look at what work we did for that year, it's in their planner, what they did each day for each subject. And they can just grab that planner and go with it. It's not getting torn up. It's a hardback spiral planner, so it's holding up pretty well. We've already used it for half this year, and I think it's holding up very well. So they grab that, they grab their school books. If we are, heading out the door to have to do schoolwork somewhere else besides home for the day, or even here at home, they can grab their planner and go to another room wherever they need to be working on at the time, and they know exactly what they're working on. And I can just say, hey, give me your planner, let me see what work you've gotten done. And it's working so well. It's making things go a lot smoother. So we will definitely be sticking with the individual student planners. I don't make any lesson plans in my planner. I don't do that. It's all in their planner. If I need to look at what they're working on or what they're going to do in the future, if I plan out more than 1 week at a time, I go to their planner. Another thing that we have done is we have no homeschool room. We have no dedicated workspace. We do have places that they keep their schoolwork. My 8th grader's is in a basket. She's got a basket that's about so big, about that deep, tote basket. I'm not even sure where it come from. I think it was a gift. I honestly don't even know where it come from. But she found that basket and was like, oh, this will work. So she sticks that basket on one of the bookshelves in what is now our dining room. We built onto our house right before my son was born. We got a new living room area complete. So our house is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. We do now have a dining room, a kitchen, and a bigger living room, but we have no homeschool room. If you have a homeschool room and you have that dedicated space, that is great. But the way that I simplified was I quit stressing about having a dedicated homeschool space, because we did not have the space for it. And it works without it. We have been doing fine without a homeschool space. So like I said, my oldest daughter has that basket where she keeps all of her stuff. and she does some of her work at our desk. We have one desktop computer, and she'll do her math on there. And then a lot of times she just, if nobody else is needing the computer, she'll just sit there at that desk and do her work, or she'll go to her bedroom or the couch or the dining room table, or a lot of times, like in the summertime, spring, when the weather's not too crazy, she'll open our front door and just sit on the floor in front of the door because she likes sitting in front of the door. It's funny, it's like a cat. So she just goes wherever she needs to go. My third grader is somewhat similar. She likes to be near, or she likes to and she needs to be sometimes near her dad, so she'll carry her stuff if he's happened to be in another room with my son, who has just turned 1 year old. She'll go, carry her stuff like down to the living room, or if he's up here in the dining room area with my 1 year old in the high chair or something, she can just move her stuff around. But her dedicated space is a cubby about so big, maybe a foot by a foot, and that's where she keeps all of her books when it's not in her book bag. If we're having to go somewhere, she keeps all of her books in that little cubby. She knows that that's her cubby space, and we have two cubbies that are right on top of each other. Her cubby is the bottom one. She keeps all of her books in there, and then our cubby is on the top for all of the teacher books that go along with her books. My 8th grader doesn't have as many teacher books with her stuff as my 3rd grader does, so all of her books kind of can stay in the same area. She's just got 1 or 2 teacher books or answer keys that go along with hers. It's not even a teacher book. So we have a little cubby for my 3rd grader, and then my 8th grader has a basket. That is the dedicated space. We have a buffet in the dining room that has like a couple little places to put their pencils. They each have a pencil holder that's their pencil holder. But as far as a homeschool room, I quit stressing it. We did have a homeschool room the first year because I just felt like they needed that, like they needed to feel normal, but they don't need it. They do fine without it. They do better without it because now we don't have a homeschool room that stays cluttered and messy all the time. So our next thing is that we do not do back to school shopping just for the sake of doing it. That first year and into the second year, I kind of felt like I needed to do the back to school shopping because it was going to make them feel normal. Like it was going to make them not feel like they were missing something or that they were weird because they didn't do the back to school shopping. I thought that I needed to take them and let them get their own pack of pencils and a new pencil box and a new book bag, a new lunch box, whatever. But we don't. We did do it the first year. We kind of did it the second year. This year before school started, no. The only thing I think I bought was a book bag for my 3rd grader because she had been using the same book bag for several years and it had holes in it. And I found the book bag she's using this year at Goodwill for like $7, $6 or $7. So we got that because she needed it. I do recommend if you need to stock up on school supplies, doing that at the back to school time because the prices are really good. But just to do it for the sake of your kids feeling normal and doing that because everybody else is doing it, you don't need to. It was a waste of our money to do it, and they feel just as special getting to go in November and December, and when they run out of pencils and getting to go pick a cute pack of pencils or whatever. It doesn't have to be at the back to school time. So that has made our life a lot more simpler. The next thing is it might not work for everybody, but if you have never heard of this, you might want to give it a try. It's teaching textbooks. We switched to teaching textbooks for math for both girls. We did not use this the first year. We had another curriculum for my, at the time, 6th grader. And then for 7th grade, we switched her to teaching textbooks, and she's been doing it this year. My 3rd grader, I think that curriculum starts at 3rd grade. So she started that this year. It's working great so far. If ever it's not working, I'll let y'all know that we are not using teaching textbooks anymore. But for right now, it's working really good. It is very hands-off for me. They grade everything. You do a couple of lessons, and then you have a quiz, and it keeps the grade. It keeps the grade point average. You get an email on the next day saying, this is what this student completed, and this is what they made, and it gives you their grade point average. Like, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to teach it. They get a video lesson. It's online curriculum, in case I didn't tell you. I'll put a link to their website. It's an online curriculum. It is very well priced. Very, 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 very well priced. You don't have a book. It is all online. So if that's something that sounds good to you, if you want to check it out, they do a free trial period that is really good. I think it's like 15 lessons. So you get, like 3 weeks worth of work for your student to see if they're going to just absolutely hate it, or if you're going to absolutely hate it, or if it's going to work for you. And you don't have to put a credit card in to do that free trial, which is something that I really like. We did that for both girls because I wasn't sure if my 3rd grader was going to like it. So we did the free trial for both of them, and we continued with it, and it has worked so good. My husband is much happier with this because he does not have to try to teach math. First and second grade math was a little difficult. learning some of those new concepts, but we got through it. He got through it. But he is very much enjoying the hands-off approach to math now for third grade, and especially my 8th grader. She's a little behind on math, but she's getting caught up, and it's so simple. That's all I can say. It's just very simple, and it's less of a strain on my brain to try to get math done. Our next one is kind of along the same lines of the teaching textbooks and the curriculum. Number 5 is that we use student-led curriculum. If you don't know what that means, you've got kind of on the spectrum of curriculum that you can pick, you've got student-led, and then all the way at the other end is teacher-led. Teacher-led is the curriculum that you buy, and it tells you, it's laid out as if you were a teacher in a classroom. Abeka is one like that. I think Bob Jones is a curriculum like that. You read the teacher guide and it lays it out and tells you, to tell the students this, or this is where the students would play this game, or put this on the board for your students to see as a visual while teaching this lesson. It's very much laid out like a classroom setting. You've got that on one end, and then you've got all the way to student-led, which is what we use, and that is what we have pushed our girls toward. And my 3rd grader is there. She can pretty well do all of her work on her own. As soon as they can read, you've got curriculum that is geared toward the student to read themselves. They read the instruction, they read the lesson, and they answer the questions. And my 3rd grader has teacher checks in some of her stuff where it'll say, it'll have a little stopping point, and it'll tell you to stop and get a teacher check. So then she knows to go to me or her dad, and we look over what she's done before she can move on to the next thing. The teaching textbooks, they can log in. My 3rd grader knows her password. She does hers on my tablet, so she knows how to go to the app. What 3rd grader, 8-year-old doesn't know how to use a tablet? They can figure it out for games, they can figure it out for schoolwork. So she knows how to go to the app, she puts in her password, and she starts her lesson. It lays out very, very easy so that she knows to go to the next lesson and just start. She listens to the lesson that is taught. It's like you're in a classroom with a teacher talking to you, and it's giving you visuals while they're listening to the lesson and reading along with it, and they answer the questions, and it grades it, and they tell them when they got it wrong and why they got it wrong. Some of her curriculum is not so much the student-led, because we do use the Bob Jones University, BJU, for her science and her history, but the way we use it, we make it student-led. We don't do all of the teacher-y stuff that's in the teacher books. We let her read the material, and then she answers the questions. And if there's any activities or anything that she's supposed to do, we help her with that. But she knows by us using the student planner what pages she's supposed to read, and then what pages she's supposed to do, because it has a reading book and then an activity book. So she can do that all on her own, and then we check it at the end of the day or the end of the week, however that works out. So student-led curriculum. I'll put a link. There is a website that I like. I think it's Alpha Omega Publications. It's got 4 or 5 different curriculums in it. I like how it lays it out because it really shows you the difference between the student-led and the teacher-led. That is one curriculum that we use. We use LifePack from Alpha Omega Publications. We have been using that for language for my 3rd grader. I don't know if we're going to continue with that, but it's worked so far. And that is the student-led. And then they have the other brands that are like internet-based, and then the very teacher-led. So student-led curriculum has been great for us because of our situation, and it just being so great that they can work independently. That has made our homeschool so much easier. All right, so that was my 5 things. I hope this is something that would help you. Like I said, if you're not in this same situation, the work life, home life kind of thing, if you have the time to sit down and be one-on-one with your kids, maybe you only have 1 or 2 and they're younger, or you only have 1 kid and you can sit down one-on-one and teach all the lessons, and you love doing that, that is great. I'm happy for you. But if you are in a hectic season, you have a lot of kids, or you're working and trying to do this homeschooling thing, then hopefully some of these will help you with that. So I hope y'all have a great day, and I will see you on the next video.